Hello, welcome to Greatland Corporation's quick overview of Yearli Premier. Yearli Premier is a cloud-based filing program that will help any business easily and securely complete their year-end W-2, 1099, and ACA reporting obligations. This is going to be a quick overview. We want to find out more about our company and who we are and dive deeper into the program. Get a hold of one of your sales reps at 800-968-1099, and they can send you a walkthrough video demo of the product. But for today, we're just going to do a quick overview. So when you submit to Greatland, Greatland is the e-filer. We submit all your forms on your behalf to the SSA or the IRS or the applicable state agency. And we give you a timestamp when that occurred so you can prove you met your federal and state obligations. Greatland then mails all recipient copies to the recipient's home on your behalf via first-class mail, paper and postage included, and give you a date and time stamp so you can prove your recipient obligations. We also include email copy to recipients if the email is included in the data set. Premier is loaded with features designed to allow businesses the ultimate in flexibility and scalability. You have features such as team management, a la carte filing options, and the ultimate security hosted by Microsoft's Azure Cloud Computing Platform. A few notes for the 2022 filing year program. We support a multitude of forms, W-2s, 1099s, 1095, 9041s, 1042s, and many more. And this year includes state filing for the 1099K. We also include single sign-on. This allows enhanced security. If you want more information on single sign-on, whether it's a good fit for your company, please contact our sales department. And one more thing before we dive into the program is we also offer prior year filing of many forms, including 1095 forms back as far as 2018. So a quick overview here. Once logged in the software, you see that you're directed to the filing home, which is where we are now. The navigation bar at the top, you can also see where there's forms, where all your forms go once they're into the product, and e-file to resume the e-file process, e-file history, which shows filing statuses for all forms that have been submitted and so forth, and the cart, which is a checkout. So we're on the home right now, and the getting started, you have a couple options to bring your data into Yearli Premier. One is the form data entry, which you would key in, or even use, like if you used it last year, your payer and recipient library, grab a payer recipient from that library and just add in the additional details for the filing year. Or you can import using one of our partners' data imports, which would be like Workday or NetSuite or QuickBooks, or you can just use the Excel template that you can download, depending on the form type from our product. Save it to your local computer, add all the data, upload it, and bring it back in, which is what I did today, and I'll show you that in a moment. This is also where the corrections are. This little box, the e-file work in progress, lets you show what you have in progress and haven't submitted yet, and right now I have nothing there. And then the e-file history is the most recent updates. You want the full history, you have to go up to the top for the full e-file history. If you have any corrections or rejections that are needed, those will be right on top here. On the left navigation, we have My Account, where you can change your passwords, you can add credit cards. It's where the payer library is kept. We have messages regarding like our subscription renewal. This is where you'd manage your team. You can add a team, delete a team. If you want more information on teams, you're going to want to watch the complete walkthrough or even talk to your sales rep about receiving our quick start guide, which we allow, where we have videos and such on that. TIN batching is for 1099 matching with the IRS to mitigate any errors. You can print your local forms if you choose to do that, or print all forms after you've e-filed, and then a variety of reports. Again, you can go ahead and import your data right through one of our templates. You can grab your form type, you save it, you browse for the file, bring it back in. We do all the audits. We won't let some, as far as fields that are required, we won't let that pass through without an audit. We'll give you an audit file back. Once the forms are brought in, this is what it will look like. You'll see your payers listed here. I have two. You can have hundreds or thousands even. It'll tell you which tax year. Right now, we're in the tax year 21 because we haven't finished that year yet. And you can take a look as you click inside. You can take a look at the actual recipients, see their forms and whether their forms are ready. Lots of flexibility here. You can edit, you can delete, you can change things, you can delete the whole thing, bring it back into the import function again, and just modify records as needed here. You can also decide, like, oh, we don't want to have this particular company or recipient in my file. You can uncheck them and so forth. Lots of flexibility, lots of search functions. You can preview form summary. Again, dig right into each of one of these recipient forms. Again, then, you can see it asks what information saved. But for the sake of this, I have 2 payers, and I'm going to go ahead and push them through the e-file process right now. Now, what this does next is it provides recommendations on what type of filing services you'd like. So again, federal e-file, state file, recipient. All the data is in here. It recognized the data. 10 for federal, 3 for state. The other 7 recipients didn't have state obligations, and then 10 for the recipient. And that includes the online retrieval also if you provide an email. The next step would be work to be needed, and that would be if you have to add additional information, for instance, a state recon, or perhaps the 1094 for the 1095 form. For the sake of this filing, I'm going to go ahead and opt out of the state filing for right now. I'm going to come back and do that another time. The other thing too, because this is a la carte, you can go ahead and even opt out of the federal filing completely and do the recipient filing to begin with, and then maybe later before the federal deadline, come back and add in that federal filing. And you can do that through the e-file history button. But for now, we're going to go ahead and federal e-file. Let's go ahead and you can see the price. It's per service. There are volume discounts. The more forms, the lower price per form there is. Charging. And this is where work needs to be done. If there's no work to be done here, we can simply move it into the cart. And as you can see, normally if there was work to be done, like I said, a state recon. So let's move it into the cart. And then from here, we can take a look one last time by payer, by services, what we expect. And this isn't just your final check here, or I'd say your second to last final check, where you can take a look. You can do payer reports. I have 2 payers, so looking at the reports is not a big deal here, but if you have 1,000, you might want to have a combined payer report. Also, the reports back here in Yearli Premier offer by payer information too. Everything looks great for Jones groundkeeping and tenant taxes, so we're going to move them to the cart. At this point, I have a credit card saved in the system in my account. You can also add a card. You can also delete this card. You can use a prepaid code, which would be if you want to have funds loaded on a code and be invoiced by Greatland Corporation. But for right now, I'm happy with how everything looks. I've been through the process, and I'm going to go ahead and submit my order. Now, as I submit my order, it's going to the applicable agencies. In this case, it would be either the IRS. In fact, it would be the IRS because it's a 1099 NEC. Applicable states, which we didn't have state e-filing today, but it's also going to our printer to go ahead and print the copy for the recipient, and an email is going to that recipient if you provided that. So let's take a look at the e-file status. You'll get a big congratulations checkbox, and you can take a look at the status. If you signed up to receive emails, if there's corrections or rejections needed, you'll get the emails. You don't have to keep coming back here and checking that. These are all of my submissions, so I have quite a few here, and you can sort either by date submitted, which of course is today. So let's take a look at the detail on that, and I can see the progress. You can also get emails saying, hey, when it was accepted by the agency, this is when the form was printed out, things like that. So you can get those status emails. I can also download and print forms from here. I can get a receipt. I can also resend online retrievals. How many times you get someone who said they lost their form and they need another copy? That is the product, real quick, front to back. Again, very simple. This is the home page. You get started by bringing data in. You have your work in progress, and you have your history. At any point, you can chat with the support rep here. And also, we have a knowledge base that you can link into too. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Any questions? 800-968-1099.